In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Genesis 1:1. The world began in a hush, and then at the sound of his voice, everything awakened. Light burst through the darkness. Oceans were shaped, mountains lifted their heads. The stars were scattered like diamonds across the endless black. It was order born from chaos, beauty emerging out of nothingness. God looked at what he made, light, sky, land, plants, animals, and called it good. Each creation had its place, its rhythm, its breath. Yet something was missing. Amid all the life, there was no one who could share his image, no one who could look at creation with awe and whisper back gratitude. So, from the dust of the earth, God formed man. He breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. His name was Adam. That breath, it wasn't just air, it was purpose, awareness, and love. The first heartbeat that ever echoed in Eden came straight from the hands of the Creator himself. God placed Adam in a garden he had planted, Eden, a paradise of life and wonder. Rivers flowed with clarity, trees whispered in the wind, and every creature moved in peace. The air smelled of rain and new beginnings. God gave Adam everything, every fruit-bearing tree to eat from, every living being to name. But God saw Adam walking alone, and he said, "It is not good for man to be alone. I will make a helper suitable for him." Genesis 2:18. So, while Adam slept, God took one of his ribs and formed a woman. When Adam awoke and saw her, something divine stirred within him. He said, "This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh." Genesis 2:23. Her name was Eve. Together, they walked in harmony. There was no shame, no fear, no sorrow, only love and trust. Every morning, the sound of God's footsteps would echo softly through the garden as he came to walk with them. Imagine that, walking side by side with the Creator, speaking like friends, face to face. But in that garden of perfection stood a single test of obedience, a tree that bore both beauty and danger, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And God commanded, "You must not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, for when you eat from it, you will surely die." Genesis 2:17. It wasn't a cruel command, it was love's boundary, a reminder that freedom without trust leads to ruin. Then came the serpent, subtle, clever, and full of deceit. He approached Eve with words that sounded almost true. Did God really say you must not eat from any tree in the garden? Genesis 3:1. Eve hesitated. She remembered God's words, but the serpent twisted them, making her doubt the goodness of the one who had given her life. "You will not surely die," he whispered. "For God knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil." And in that moment, temptation felt reasonable. Eve looked at the fruit. It was beautiful, desirable, promising wisdom. She took it, ate it, and gave some to Adam, who also ate. And just like that, everything changed. The air shifted. The innocence of Eden vanished. Their eyes opened, but not to glory. They saw their own nakedness and felt shame for the first time. The world that had been bathed in light now trembled under the weight of sin. When they heard God walking in the garden, they hid among the trees. The Creator calling for his creation. "Adam, where are you?" Genesis 3:9. Not because he didn't know, but because love always seeks the lost. That question still echoes today, across generations, through hearts that wander far from grace. "Where are you?" Adam replied, trembling, "I heard you in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid." Fear had replaced peace. Separation had replaced closeness. God asked, "Who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten from the tree I commanded you not to eat from?" Adam pointed to Eve. Eve pointed to the serpent. And the perfect harmony broke into blame and pain. The serpent was cursed to crawl and eat dust. Eve was told her pain would multiply in childbirth, and her longing would be for her husband. Adam was told the ground would now resist him. Thorns and sweat would mark his labor. But even in their fall, God's love did not vanish. He made garments of animal skin to clothe their shame, an early shadow of sacrifice, a whisper of redemption to come. Then he sent them out of Eden, eastward, away from the tree of life. The gates were guarded by cherubim and a flaming sword. It was the end of innocence, but not the end of hope, because God already had a plan to restore what was lost. Through generations, through Noah, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, David, a promise kept growing, until one day in Bethlehem, a new Adam came. For as in Adam all die, so in Christ all will be made alive.